This is the dust this morning. This is the dust that brought on an asthmatic attack last night when I couldn't breathe. For about a whole minute I couldn't get any air into my lungs. This is the dust that is grinding. He's moved it out of the garage area and into my area, nearer to my flat. It's pandemonium on this site. The workers are a law unto themselves. I pleaded with them. I've done everything I can to try to persuade them that I have asthma and that this dust is aggravating this condition. I have an upper respiratory tract infection which is making the asthma attacks worse. This dust is coming into my flat. It's actually coming into my flat through the badly fitting windows. And there's nothing I can do. It's not noise now. It's not noise nuisance. There's no will here. No site foreman you can go to say, please, please think about what you're doing. None of them are wearing masks. The rest of us don't have masks to wear. We're completely exposed to this hazardous dust. The marble cutting for the other 10 flats was done inside the flats. The marble cutting for flats 1 and 2 on my floor at the front of the block are being done here. The marble cutting is being done outside my bedroom window and my living room windows. I believe this is the 6th week of this marble cutting. There's a photograph of the saw behind the man cutting at the moment. There's the trestle, the table for that saw for cutting granite in number 10. I have a photograph where the dust is piled about 1 inch to 2 inches thick, falling onto the floor. It's unbelievable. There's nothing I can do. This isn't noise now, which is unbearable. This is actually dangerous. It's hazardous, and there's nothing that I can do. Absolutely nothing. We've phoned Stoneforce. Stoneforce are doing what they can. These workmen under Dave have been given their head. It's open season now. There's nothing I can do. I've pulled back. I've reduced my protest to part-time. They have stepped up their war of attrition against me. You could go to Will when he was here and say, look, I can't breathe. This dust is coming into my flat. But there's no one you can go to. If you go to Dave, all you get from Dave is, I don't need your hassle. Who can we go to? Pat Etherson is the operations manager. He works for Stoneforce. There's no one to whom we can turn. There is no person taking responsibility for what is happening here. The wind last Thursday, it was a 70-mile-per-hour gale wind. The dust was coming straight at my windows. This will go on now for the rest of this week. They keep telling me just a couple of days more. You know, we're finishing on the 18th. What I can see is all these dates are shifting. It's sweet talk. That's all you ever get on this site. Sweet talk. You don't get sweet talk from Will. You get hard fact. And you get some discipline on this site. It's been mayhem for 6 weeks. 5 or 6 weeks. I can't remember how long since this cutting moved to the back of this block. It's by far the most upsetting aspect of everything I've been through so far. Because they won't move it. They could cut it inside the flats, but no, they want to keep the flats dust free. My flat, it doesn't matter. My flat is the casualty of all this, and I am the collateral damage. The dust is travelling over into Mark's area in 4 Blenheim Road and all the other houses. There's a baby in flat 2, and there's a lady with emphysema. There's a lady in flat 12 who is about to give birth. She's breathing all this. And there's still nothing that can be done. I go to sleep with it, I wake up to it. There's nothing I can do. The work carries on. The trestle tables have moved out now from inside the garages to where I am. If I pull back and try to show you the top of the window, the dust is there along the edge of my windows. I don't know whether you can see it. Perhaps if I go down, you might get some idea of how bad it is. That's the marble dust. It's inside my windows. There's a peaceful scene behind him of the trees that I used to look out onto. My whole life has been destroyed. That's it. He's applauding himself. He's covered in dust. No mask. Sorry. No mask. Nothing. His face is covered in white marble dust. He wants to die sooner rather than later. That's him shaking it all off. But I want to live. I want to write about this. I don't want to die of emphysema. I don't want to die in an asthmatic attack. He is one of the most indifferent, one of the most insensitive of all the workmen. He is the one that thinks it's all a huge joke. That's it. You can see the dust falling off the table. None of them are wearing masks. None of them. It's not about noise nuisance anymore. It's about life. It's about life itself and the hazardous dust. By the end of the day, those trestle tables will have been moved further towards me. Only the two cars are stopping that. I'm so tired. I'm so helpless and without hope. And there's no one we can turn to. Pat Etherson said last week they shouldn't be doing it. But they are doing it. Nothing here ever gets addressed. Nothing. We just get sweet words, sweet talk, and they all go away and come back and carry on with what they were doing. If there's anyone out there who could possibly intervene with Westminster's dust team, which is subsumed under the noise team, we desperately need some help here. They did come out last week and they did intervene. And after that visit, they did manage to attach a hose to the pipe and actually direct some water onto the cutting. They say that we're lucky to have Stoneforce because no other building firms wouldn't even bother to use a spray to damp down the dust. They say that they can't use the spray when they're grinding. I don't know why they can't use a spray when they're grinding. But that's the answer that I get. And beyond it all, the trees, the poplar tree in the distance, probably that you can't see, towering in the distance. The poplar trees to the side of me that I can't write about anymore. And there's nothing we can do. Absolutely nothing.